start right. Alrighty. Well, alrighty, Guy Fong. Welcome back to the Masterchef Rewind Thursdays. Again, it is good to see you. My name is John Leung, also known as Dumpling Daddy, here on Twitch. We are live on streams 3 times a week, Sundays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays. Today is Thursday, and hey, we have another guest here on our beautiful little channel. So again, we probably made some food already, or we're just about to get ready to make some food. So stay tuned for that in a little bit. But again, today we are going to be talking to another member of the MasterChef family that we are slowly growing here on our channel here. And tonight, from the beautiful province of Alberta, where we are from, we have the lovely Meg from Red Deer. So, Meg, it is great to have you with us this evening.
Thank you, John. Thank you so much. I'm happy to be here. I'm a little jealous of what's behind you. Looks quite delicious.
That's a lot of the stuff is my dad's collection, but we do have a lovely little bar here at home. This is actually my first time doing this podcast at the bars. So maybe sometime in the future we'll also get some drinks involved. But tonight I know it's
another time.
I know we're recording exactly right. There's always another time as well too. But again, Meg, I mean, you and I mean, we have both been on MasterChef Canada. So again, before we begin, since I know we're going to get right into it as well too, since we have a little bit of a limited time as well too. Meg, can you tell us a little bit about yourself as well too before we start?
Sure. My name is Meg Tucker. I also answer to Meg Anderson, and I have a company now called Cook with Meg. So we'll get into that. But my backstory, I was born in Montreal. I am an East Coast girl. So I grew up in New Brunswick all through school. And then I moved around a bunch. I've lived in New York, I've lived in Toronto, and more recently Calgary. So I have lived in a lot of places and worked in radio as well. So I had 15 years as a morning show co-host before my job shifted officially into the food world. So when I was in radio, that's when I auditioned for and was on season 2 of Masterchef Canada. So at the time, I wasn't a professional cook. However, I am now. And that's sort of me in a nutshell.
Awesome. And we'll definitely get into some of the things that you're going to be doing a little bit late. You're doing now as well too.
Yes.
But so again, you were talking about MasterChef. You were on season 1. I was on season 2.
Yes.
Of course. You were on season 2. I was on season 1 as well too, right? So and again, I think I met you through Dora as well too, right? I believe I met you through Dora.
Okay.
So maybe again, my memory can be a little bit blurry as well too sometimes. I mean, it's been 10 years, right? I mean,
it's been 10 years. Isn't that hard to believe? Wow.
I know. I mean, it's like, I mean, where's time gone as well too, right?
I know.
And I mean, but again, we're gonna dial back the clock a little bit as well too here. So when you first saw, again, did you apply for season 1, by the way, just out of curiosity, or?
No, I didn't. I watched it, and that's where we all met and fell in love with Dora, and she was also in Alberta, and of course, having been a fan of the US version, it was all very exciting when season 1 happened. And then season 2 auditions rolled around, and I reached out to Dora just to kind of, ask her thoughts and opinions and whatnot. And that's when she mentored me a little bit, gave me a bunch of fun tips. And I remember spending an afternoon at her house, really perfecting like a really great pie crust. And, honestly, I kind of went into it feeling like, hey, what do you have to lose? Nothing. You might as well just do the written application. You never know. I loved food. Let's just see. That's really kind of what I went into it thinking.
Exactly. And I think that's a lot. I think that's what a lot of people also go in as well too. But again, back to a little season 1 as well too. So, I mean, besides Dora, I mean, you and I are big, huge fans of Dora. I mean, is there any other people from season 1 that really caught your eye at all, or?
Can you please refresh my memory from season 1? Name some of the big ones, not big ones. Name some of them for me, because like literally we're going back 10 years now.
Oh my God, yeah. I think there was Josh, there was Dora, there was Tamara, Narita, Pino.
Yes. You know what? I feel as though season 1 for me, watching it
Yeah.
was just a really great exercise in how is it the same as the US version? Is it a little different? Just being proud of, you just get so proud of everyone and what province they're from, and then you start to root for people. And I think it was really just I should have known then. I should have known then that it's not my cup of tea, because I feel like I'm not competitive. I mean, I shouldn't have done it probably, because being competitive is one thing in your own business, competing with, you know, surpassing your own benchmarks. But it probably wasn't 5 minutes there that I was like, oh boy, like people are out for blood. And I don't know that that's my scene. So, so I really just watched the show as an admirer, as someone who loved to cook and loved to kind of see all the different people from the different provinces.
Very nice as well too. So I mean, and again, and the show itself is not exactly for everyone, or participating in the show is not always for everyone as well too, right? But I mean, because again, I mean, you and I have both seen as well too, right? I mean, you and I both been there. I mean, we see some of the people who are genuine. I think honestly, and again, this is who I've also talked with, maybe say some of the other contestants as well too. So far, actually, now that I think about it, I've actually talked to everyone. Almost everyone I've talked to so far is from season 2. Quasi. Yeah, you, Nikita, and Chris Mask. So
yes,
I've literally not even talked to anyone from season 1 just yet. So come on, season 1. I mean, get on board. So but anyway, I'm not gonna give them too much heck as well too. But you know what? But I mean, but what are some of, so do you, I mean, I know you're going back a little bit. So I mean, and we just mentioned 3 names as well too, like Nikita, Chris, and Quasi. What are some of the names that you, what are some of the names that you maybe still talk to at all? Like, do you still talk to them? What are some of the you really admire from that season?
Well, I definitely from my season, that's where I can speak to. I definitely am still in touch with Nikita for sure. Love her. I'm also Chris and I chatted, of course, who was on my season 2 and then went back to win years later. So he was like our little brother. So we definitely loved him. I will say that on my season, when I was there, I did Dave George's laundry almost nightly, because he was so fun. He would say this too. He was quite funny. He was like, oh, I'm not, how am I going to get this laundry done? And I'm like, dude, just pay me. I'll do your laundry for you. So at the hotel doing Dave's laundry, cut to Dave wins MasterChef. So it's kind of crazy that you bond. And I'm sure you remember, I was only there for a couple of weeks, but you bond so quickly with other contestants. Deanna on my season as well. I would say would be the core group. We all kind of went home around the same time. So for that group, I would say, oh, and Kristen from Newfoundland in my season, she went the distance. She went quite far. And Jen, who was the dental hygienist. Jennifer went like way, way, way far. Jennifer Moiter now.
Yes, but what did she go under? I'm trying to remember the name as well too.
I am too. And you'll remember it before. Was it Ennis? Jen Ennis?
Yes, Jen Ennis. Yes, Jen Ennis. Now I remember. Yes. Yeah.
How
totally right.
did I remember that? She was she went really far. And Jen and I are still on Facebook and we still chat all the time. And she lives in Vernon, which is where my daughter lives. So yeah, it's a neat group. I think you said it really well. You said whether you've auditioned or made it to your regional or made it to Toronto, and regardless of getting an apron or not, like it's a pretty cool little group. And to get to say that you it is very cool.
I mean, and being stuck in a hotel all by each other and sequestered. I mean, you kind of don't have anyone else to talk to as well too, right? So I mean, and then after all the whole sports thing, and of course you can only drink so much, so many hours of the day as well too, right? So I mean, I'm nothing.
It really is a neat it's a neat process. I think for anyone who is interested in reality TV, I think it's just like, it's a wonderful experience. Maybe not for everybody, but to get to say that you did it at any level is very cool. Something to be proud of for sure.
Oh, absolutely, right? I mean, and again, like, did you? I mean, and again, and I know this is something that Guy Fong, which is the name of my community, the viewers that I do have on Twitch. I mean, I do call them this Cantonese word. So again, if I do refer the name Guy Fong, it means the community. And the Guy Fong knows some of the things. I've been pretty frank about the Guy Fong as well too, right? So again, I did tell them about what happened since the show. What are some of the range? I mean, I know, and again, you got there. I believe you didn't get an apron. I don't believe.
I did get an apron. Yes.
Oh, you did. I think you were in the top 26, right? So yeah. So,
correct. Yeah, I was in the top 26. I got my apron. Super proud. And then I got really, 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 really sick. So the morning that we were scheduled to cook for the top 16, which is at the time how that structure went, I woke up super, super ill, and I went to set, and they could tell that I wasn't really feeling well, and a paramedic had to come over and assess me. And it was determined that I needed to go to the hospital. So my story literally ended very prematurely. The producers were really kind, and they said, you know, we can't wait. We have to go ahead with the cook. So that was it. My journey ended literally just like that. So I always say, nobody sent me packing. Like, I earned the apron, and I didn't get eliminated. I took myself out because I was sick. So Claudio, you know, we like filmed it. We filmed my exit and everything else. A lot of my footage got cut, which happens in TV, which was disappointing, but it happens. It's okay. And but I know I did it, and I know I got the apron.
And yeah, you did as well too. And you're now part of the whole White Apron Club as well too, right? Which is not even I think when you I don't even know what the stats are as well too, right? Because there's been probably probably thousands of people who've been on shows, MasterChefs all around the world. And I mean, I think we're probably like a very small fraction of those people who even applied, who's actually even gotten one to wear one of those aprons as well too, right? I mean, but
did you got the apron as well? What's your story?
I did. So, sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
What is your story? Can you just quickly tell me what your story is with it?
Oh, absolutely. So again, for those of you who are just watching or listening on YouTube, you've never heard it before, I applied like literally first season. I went to the Calgary auditions. I blew them away with my Indonesian rendang non taco. Made it there. Made a barbecue plate for the judges. Blew them away, and then of course crashed out on undercooked chicken thighs. So unfortunately, a YouTube channel reminded me of how I went out, and apparently that got 12 million views on a short.
So how far did you make it? You got the apron, and then you got to what point?
Top 26. So same as you as well too. So top 26. So I got knocked out on a pink chicken pink chicken thighs. So that night that Nikita and she went home along with Lauren and Deanna and a bunch of them, I was also on that same plane, but having eliminated that morning. So I could have gone out on that cook too. So that's okay. That's exactly okay. Right? Because you never know, right? I mean, and maybe say maybe in another universe, maybe you might have, I don't know, maybe you might have made it into the top 3, or maybe you might have been a MasterChef champion for all we know in another universe as well too, right? I mean,
how much do we all talk now about? And now, I mean, it's not trash talking or anything, but I often think from 2014, which is when I was on, to now. Wow, it would be a whole different ball game now, let me tell you, because I've gone to culinary school since. I have a cooking business now. So I think back and I think like, whoa, I still wouldn't want to do it because I'm still not that cutthroat of a person. But man, I would be good. I'd be good at it now.
You would totally be good as well too. And I went and after I did the show, I went and got my red seal as well too, right? So I went and got my red seal. So I mean, and now of course I'm teaching people how to make food on Twitch as well too, right? But you know, I think seriously, I think we can definitely touch it a little bit. Maybe say after a short little break here. So guys,
Sure.
we're gonna leave this. We're gonna stop for a few seconds here. We're gonna come back. For those of you who are watching on Twitch, we're gonna take a little break. We're gonna come back with Meg a little bit later. We're gonna make some food right now, so we're gonna continue picking up where we left off. So Guy Fong will be back in a little bit. For those of you who are watching on YouTube, well, keep going. We're gonna continue talking as well too. So, all right. So Guy Fong, we'll be back in a little bit with Meg. But again, if you're watching on YouTube, we'll be rolling back in shortly in about 3, 2, 1. All right, Guy Fong, if you're watching on Twitch, welcome back. We have Meg Tucker, also known as Meg Anderson, with us this evening here on the Masterchef Rewind Thursday. Again, it is great to see you. Welcome in. It is we're probably just in the middle of a cook right now, so we're gonna continue with the chat again. With Meg and I, we were just talking about her season 2 as well too here. So we're gonna get into a little bit more of a what if kind of situation as well too here.
Okay.
Again, you were just talking about how you would my English sometimes can be a little difficult.
All good. If I were to go now and do it.
Where we were going to go now. Okay. Can you just remind us what your I don't think did we see your audition dish that you made in Toronto?
We did not. So much footage didn't make it. So my Calgary first audition dish was a quiche. So I had cured my own bacon, which they were like, what? So I had my own it was a bacon leek Gruyere quiche, and it was like mile high. It was very cool, and my own bacon in the quiche. So that struck a chord, I guess. And then my dish in Toronto to get the apron was a pumpkin ravioli. Pumpkin ricotta ravioli with hazelnut brown butter and crispy sage. And it was all like, I say this to everybody who asks, the time is real. You really do have 1 hour. You really are against the clock and making hand rolled, hand formed, hand rolled, everything pasta. But how funny, like, what was I thinking to legit make ravioli? And then I'm showing it to Michael Bonaccini and Claudio Aprile, 2 major Italian chefs. Like, oh my gosh. But I got 2 out of 3. 2 out of the 3.
You got 2 out of 3. Again, I don't know if you could you tell us who gave you the no?
Yeah. I got a no from Michael. He thought it was a little tiny bit too thick, and literally held it right up to the light with the fork to see if he could see the fork. I maintain I feel like it was thin enough, but he said it was delicious, just maybe a little too thick, the pasta. Okay. And then Alvin, Chef Alvin, of course. Yeah.
60 minutes, buddy. I mean, what are you expecting? But anyway.
Chef Alvin gave me a yes, which was thrilling. And he was so nice. He's so nice. He's so nice. And then Chef Claudio Aprile really thought, and then it was a yes. And then my yes was through Chef Michael Bonaccini, who said, he was like, well, Megan, we've got some good news and some bad news. He's like, the bad news is Red Deal Radio will be waiting for you a little longer, because the good news is you got your apron. And I'm like, and then they give me my apron, and then the doors open, and then somebody hands me a phone with my, at the time, boyfriend on the phone, now husband. And that's how it happened.
Wow. I mean, and so again, now that we're going to dial a little back a little. So again, we're going to take 2023 Meg and plop her into the body of 2014 Meg.
Oh boy.
Okay. What would you do a different dish? What would you do?
Oh, good questions. So, when they take you to go, get all your supplies and whatnot, I definitely would have had more confidence, because I feel like even though you're making the dish that you decided, so it's not thrown at you, this is your first audition dish, is what you want to make. I definitely don't think I could have done ravioli. I definitely would have worked. I mean, it was all good enough to get an apron, so I'm happy, but I think I would have done maybe a little something different with plating. I think in the year, if 2023 Meg is plopped in 2014's body, I actually might have done a dessert, because I have definitely come leaps and bounds in that world. So I feel like I could have really wowed them with something in that arena. And I don't think very many people do that. So I think that might have made me stand out. And I definitely would have enjoyed the experience more. If I could tell anyone to do this, if they want to do any shows like that, just embrace it and enjoy it, because it is very stressful. And I definitely think my stress and my nerves got the better of me, and I don't know how to not do that. So I don't know if that would have been any different.
I think that's the same thing as for a lot of us as well too. And again, I'm not downplaying your feeling as well too, right?
Sure,
but it is very stressful. And Guy Fong, I mean, if you ever make it, and I know there's a few Guy Fong who've actually who's been thinking about this as well too. Seriously, you need to nail time management as well too. So again, again, I know it might be rehashing as well too. If someone were to say today, maybe say one of your people who are in the class, like one of your classes, we'll talk a little bit more about Cook with Meg in just a few moments in our third section, by the way. But if they were going to tell you, hey, I want to apply for MasterChef or Wall of Chefs or whatever any of the shows will too, what are some of the pointers and what's some of the advice you would give them?
Yeah, I would definitely encourage it. I think it's a wonderful opportunity. I think as long as you go into it, I think as long as you go into it saying, this is going to be a great experience, it does not matter how far I get. The whole thing is an experience that you are going to then be able to talk about 10 years later. And you can use it as a springboard to whatever it is that you want to do beyond that. Like some people now go on to those, I'm saying any reality show, to get a bigger social media following, or to get noticed, or to just have the experience to become a better cook. So I would tell them to practice like the big main things. You don't have to be an expert at it, but at least be familiar with it. I think also I would tell them to really just experiment with flavors. And you don't always have to be super fancy Michelin star. When you see on shows like that, you see very clearly that you have a whole demographic. You've got people who are, like on my season, we had definitely very fancy pants chefs cooks who were, negative space on the plate and really complicated ingredients. And then on the other flip of the coin, you had someone who's doing down home comfort food, and it all works. So I would say, don't get hung up on having to be super fancy, but just practice, go into it with really good, solid flavors, be open to a crazy, weird mystery experience, because you don't know a lot of what's going on. You kind of just have to go with it. So I think my advice is, you need to be quite flexible with just the unknown. Be okay with it. Make a few friends as soon as you get there, and hang on to them for dear life.
Exactly, because you never know what, especially if you made it into the 16 rounds, you never know when you're going to need them to save you as well too, right? And if I may also add as well too, learn some butchery. My God, seriously.
That's a big one. And like fish, if you can remove pin bones from a fish, and a lot of things that depending on how you grew up or what your culture is or how you cook or what you like to eat, go outside of your comfort zone a little bit, because I'm going to be honest, like I grew up in the Maritimes, but I'm not a big seafood eater. So had they thrown, I know it's wild, but had they thrown huge seafood challenges at me, oh my gosh, my whole family would be laughing. I know I'd figure it out, but it's not my area of expertise. But if they said, okay, now let's make macarons, I got it. Whereas somebody else would be like, oh gosh. So, you know, just be open to the experience, I think would be my best advice. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, because again, I'm familiar with Asian flavors, but if they, I think honestly, if I'm thinking right now, honestly, if they, because again, at the time, I didn't know how to wrap a dumpling. So if they actually threw that, I believe they did the dumpling relay on me. I might have survived it, but again, my mom, if she watched it, she'd be like, "This is how you do it. This is how you do it. This is how you do it. This you weren't doing it right. That's why it came all to burn." I'd be like, "Yes, mom. Yes, I know." It's again, it's 60 minutes, people. I mean,
it's true. It's true. It's true. And yeah, like I remember before I went, obviously you can't tell anyone, but I think obviously my family knew. My mother was just like, she watches Australia, Masterchef Australia religiously. So she's like, you need to do this. You need to know how to do this. You need to know how to make it this. And I know I went not knowing half of it. So, you know, it's okay. It's okay.
And also, I actually can't remember, but I think they also learn how to make an omelet, how to make a French omelet.
A French omelet. Practice that. No color.
No color, and fried egg as well too, because trust me, I even 10 years on, I still screw up a fried egg for my bibimbap as well too. But anyway, Guy Fong, again, we're gonna take another quick little pause here. We're gonna come back in a few minutes, and we're gonna once again we have Meg Tucker, also known as Meg Anderson, also known as Cook with Meg on Instagram and all the social medias. Another member of the MasterChef family. We're talking about with them tonight with the for MasterChef Rewind Thursdays. So for those of you watching with Twitch, we're going to get back to cooking for a little bit more. And then we're going to come back after we've cooked. And then we're going to be listening to the last part of our conversation tonight with Meg Tucker as well too. So for those of you watching YouTube, we're going to be back in about 3, 2, 2.5, 1. And we're back. So for those of you watching from on Twitch, welcome back. Again, thank you, John, for bringing me back again. It is good to see everybody. Hoping you are enjoying the food that we have been making. So, but folks, if you are watching, welcome back to the MasterChef Rewind podcast. Again, good to see you. My name is John Leung, also known as Dumpling Daddy on Twitch. We have Meg Tucker, also known as Cook with Meg. We've been talking a little bit about the show itself, her experience with season 2, which is something I've not exactly privy to because I was on season 1. But we're going to talk a little bit more now about, in the last section here, we're going to talk a little bit about life after as well too. So we took a little bit of time. So again, Meg, so once you finish the show, and then you did mention that you went to school as well too, right? So again, tell us a little bit about the school before we talk a little bit about Cooking with Meg as well too. So
sure. So I knew that during MasterChef, they often ask you in your interviews, what's your food dream? And I think that was part of the application as well. And I always said cooking with kids, which be careful if you put a comma there, but cooking with kids. And so when I got back, I reached out to Shaw Cable, which is local here in Alberta, and pitched them an idea to create a kids cooking show. So that's kind of what I did as soon as I got back. I thought, well, why don't I actually create what I was sharing with them as something that I wanted to do? So I created a kids cooking show called Just One Bite. We cast 4 to 7-year-olds, and we did 8 episodes over 2 seasons where we made a different dish. And the rule was in my show, the real thought was, you can't say that you don't like something if you've never tried it. So it's really important in life just one bite, just one bite. And then you get to say, you know what, it's not for me, but at least I tried it. So it was a fun show. It was a fun concept. And then from there, I definitely knew that I wanted to expand my foundation. I love to cook. I think I was a good cook, but I knew that I wanted to get that foundation education. So I went to culinary school, and I'm a professional certified cook. So I've worked in restaurants from on the front of house. I've never worked in a restaurant kitchen. So now that I have my certification, I'm a cook.
Yep.
I'm not a chef. I'm very clear with that. And I know a lot of chefs will even say, no, you're a chef. You're a chef. You've now been cooking professionally for however many years, but it's really important that I make that distinction that I am a cook, proud professional cook.
Absolutely.
And after culinary school, or right around the same time, I launched my business, which is called Cook with Meg. Yeah.
Nice. And now that can perfectly segue. So tell us a little bit about Cook with Meg, by the way.
Yeah, Cook with Meg started 13 days into the pandemic. I think we all realized that the world was on lockdown, and I needed to pivot. At the time, I was working with a lot of food brands, creating video content for them, recipe development with the Egg Farmers of Alberta, with Central Alberta Co-op, like locally. But I knew that I wanted to make a bigger footprint and have a bigger impact in the world of food. So kind of going back to my just one bite and my dream out of MasterChef, how do I involve kids and families? So I worked with a business partner, business consultant on strategy, and we decided, what if we offered virtual cooking classes from my kitchen? This is not my kitchen. My kitchen's right there. What if we offered virtual cooking classes from my kitchen right into yours? And so we launched it, literally social media, put out the post, friends told friends, etc. I think week 1, we had 27 families, mainly Alberta and BC. I didn't know at the time what was to come. But in the past 3.5 years, I feel like I've taught probably 5,000 families in 5 countries. I'm heading into next summer will be my 5th year of culinary summer camps. We're starting our fall programming next week. We do weekday classes, weekend classes, and we do our Halloween party and a New Year's party, where we literally gain kitchen confidence, and families from I'll say mainly all over North America join. All of our classes are recorded, so you can live anywhere in the world and you can do the recording if you're not available to do the live class. And food runs the gamut. We're starting a series called Road Trip. This is the 3rd road trip we've taken, where every class is a different country. We're doing a classic pad thai coming up soon. We did Vietnam. We've done France. We've done England. This fall, we've got a road trip series. We've got a pop culture series where we are cooking our way through movies, TV shows, books, and games. Dishes based on all of those things, everything from The Hobbit to Monopoly to Anne of Green Gables. Like, we're kind of doing it all. And it's just a really, really pretty magical community that we're building. And I couldn't be more proud. I won Business of the Year, Small Business of the Year, a couple years ago, and sky's the limit.
You are living the dream, and seriously, I mean, that literally just started with just applying for MasterChef as well too. So that's just amazing. And I mean, I'm just listening to all of this as well too. It sounds like, I mean, it's kind of similar to what I do as well too, right? I mean, it's similar. I do kind of some themes, but again, I'm mostly focused on Asian cuisine as well too, right? So because that's kind of my wheelhouse and kind of what that's my passion as well too, spreading the love and joy as well too. So, but that's amazing as well too. So, but again, I think we're actually getting close to approximately to the end here. We got about a couple more minutes here. So, but again, Meg, of course, I do want to thank you as well too. So maybe Guy Fong, one hashtag. Again, this is something I always say. I've said this to Nikita, I've said it to Quasi, I've said this to Chris. Hopefully, maybe say one of these days we might get Meg live in our kitchen as well too, and maybe say we'll make some. Maybe we'll do dueling pad ties or something or two because
I listen again back to the what your specialty is. You would kick my butt, but I do.
You never know. You never know.
You never know. You never know. You did say something neat though that sparked the idea. I think down the road, you need to get a Zoom and we have all of us in our own kitchens and we all cook something at the same time, led by you. That
might not be bad,
would be really fun.
Yeah.
That would be
I have
fun.
tried it before. I did that with Tastemade, but again, I'm very disorganized. I mean, that's the ADHD and the ADHD talking. So again, still working on that one. But again,
so listen. So you make it happen. I'll lead the class, and then we'll all cook from our own kitchens. I'll do it.
Absolutely, I'll definitely touch base with you afterwards as well too, and Guy Fong. I mean, that's exciting as well too, and Guy Fong, and maybe say we'll do that again. We'll do this with Zoom, and it might even be over Twitch as well too. So I mean, so all my Twitch community we can also get involved as well too. So,
absolutely.
I mean, so and again, Meg, thank you so much for saying that as well too, because I guess I think that's the big thing as well too, because the reason why you're so inspiring to me as well too, and I do want to say this from the very bottom of my heart. I've watched you grow from season 2, and honestly, I mean, you're just absolutely, pardon my French, fucking smashing it, and you are just living that dream as well too. So, and I've been wanting to, and seriously, when I was planning this, you were definitely one person I really wanted to get on as well too, because you are someone. And again, I mean, I've talked to. I mean, this is again, we're recording this before we aired the Chris Masters interview, but we talked. But again, by the time we air this as well too, in about a couple weeks, we'll talk to Chris Mask, and his story and is also pretty amazing as well too. And Guy Fong, we're gonna have a lot more of these stories coming up as well too. So please, of course, stay tuned. Meg, again, thank you so much for being here with us this evening. You're an absolutely wonderful guest. I really hope that we will be able to meet again virtually or in person sometime very near future. So again, thank you so much. Anyway, again, about 15 seconds. I'll give you a quick little 15 seconds. Any final thoughts in 15 seconds?
Thank you so much. You do a great job. Whatever you choose to do with food, I say this to everyone, food is love. And we always end every single class with 3 words, we are awesome. So thank you, and check me out, cookwithmeg.com.
Absolutely. Hey, thank you so much, everybody. Guy Fong, that's all for. So again, thank you so much for watching on YouTube. Again, thank you very much. Please, of course, subscribe and like, subscribe, follow, all that lovely good stuff. If you're watching on Twitch, John, back to you. Good night, everybody.